So great to see everyone coming on board. All right, we want to be mindful of everyone's time because I know that we are all busy people. So I am going to go ahead and begin by sharing my screen so that we can go ahead and get started. Oops. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Iris, thank you for bringing everyone in, but it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 2024 AAAS HBCU Making an Innovation Showcase Cohort Orientation. My name is Neela White. I am thrilled to be able to join you. I am co-PI of this project along with Dr. Iris Wagstaff, who you'll meet shortly. The agenda that you see is listed here. So I'm going to allow Iris to go ahead and just run through the agenda really quickly as we allow more people to enter, and then we will proceed with the presentation.
Thank you, Neela. And again, I echo her. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have all of you. We know not everyone could make this today. So as Neela said, we are recording. So I'm Iris Wagstaff. I'm a STEM program director at the AAAS. Who has the grant funded by the National Science Foundation to support this effort. So myself and Neela lead this effort along with an awesome team that includes our external evaluator, Dr. Kavita Mitapalli, an amazing advisory board, and an awesome inclusive community of practice that you will learn about today. So we have a lot to cover today. We're going to start out with some introductions. Share a little bit about our past cohorts, celebrate you all who are part of the new cohort, give you a little bit of history of this initiative, and then you'll learn about what to expect as far as this new cohort and what you'll expect over the next three years.
Great, thank you so much, Iris. I'm going to go ahead and get off admitting people in duties and move this forward.
Okay. Okay, and am I, let's see. Okay, you're driving. Okay. Okay. So a part of our amazing team, we have a number of folks behind the scenes that not only help us with our annual showcase, but who will be helping us with all of the many moving parts of this initiative. This initiative is funded by a newly awarded grant from the National Science Foundation in October. So you all are a part of this first cohort of this newly funded grant. So congratulate yourselves. I'm a proud alum of North Carolina A&T State University. So Aggie Pride for any Aggies in the room. But again, congratulations to all of you. So additionally to myself and Ms. Neela White, we have Ms. Janice Lim, who you will see or interact with leading up to all of the planning that is involved for the showcase. Claire Malloy, who's a project associate, and also Erica Wood is on our team. And we are hiring a new person, hopefully in July, that will be working with us as well. But we all work behind the scenes, mostly some of us in front of the scenes to really pull off all of the pieces of this initiative. You can go ahead. So I just want to give a huge shout out to all of the new cohort members, as well as all of our past cohorts. Let's see. You got the next slide?
Yep.
Okay.
People are, so yeah. I'll take over this one really quickly. I just want to shout out, we have a record number. We initially had 18 teams. And then immediately after the deadline, we got requests, which I could not turn down. It was ahead of the orientation. So we have reached our cap of 20 teams this year. This is what was proposed. This is the highest number of teams that we've had. And as you can see here, we have our teams from Bowie State University, Philander Smith University, Spelman College, Fisk University, Tuskegee University, Morgan State, North Carolina A&T, South Carolina State, Morehouse College, Jackson State University, and Alabama A&M University. So welcome to you all. Shout out to you all. We are just thrilled to be able to highlight and showcase HBCUs and the talent, the innovative talent, the inventive talent, the making talent, the entrepreneurial talent that our students from our HBCUs have, and to acknowledge the faculty that support these students and all the work that you all have put behind it, and hope that you find that in this new iteration of our proposal, we will be doing more to support our faculty members as well and to provide you with more resources and opportunities as well. So shout out to you all. We welcome you. We're excited to see you when you come to DC in September, and we look forward to working with you all throughout this cohort, throughout this year prior to the showcase.
Yeah, I just want to echo that. A part of what Neela said is a big part of this newly awarded grant that we were awarded in October from the National Science Foundation is we really wanted to double the number of teams that we were able to support and bring here to DC. And we were able to do that with this new grant. We were able to double the teams from 10 to 20. So as Neela said, this is the largest cohort that we have had. So congratulations to you all. We look forward to meeting you in person while we interact with you virtually. So I just want to shout out our amazing advisory board. We have some awesome advisory board members who really help us with this work. They are the experts in making innovation, invention, and entrepreneurship, and they are a key part of our inclusive community of practice that we are really leveraging to help you as HBCU student and faculty innovators. So I'll just mention Brandon Andrews, Nina Archie, Laura Collins, who you'll hear from today, Ellie Feeney, who you'll hear from today, Johnny Graham.
Sorry. There we go.
Lakeisha Greenway, Dorothy Jones Davis, Joyce Ward, Ron Williams, and Chad Womack.
So I want to pause for a second. If there are any advisory board members, I know Nina is on, I saw her join. If there are any advisory board members who are here, I would love for you to just introduce yourselves very briefly. Nina, it would be great if you could just give a little bit about what you do, how you, what being an advisory member means to you, and how you will be able to support the showcase and these students and faculty that are a part of this cohort. I thought she was on. Nina, are you on? I saw her join. So Nina is on. She might be busy for the moment, but what we'll do is we'll come back to her and allow her to speak. I don't see any of our other advisory board members here, but the advisory board committee, they serve a huge role. You will get to know them quite a bit throughout this showcase year. They serve in the role as e-mentors to you all. You'll be hearing from them during our professional development sessions, our e-mentoring sessions. They provide us with who we may consider as speakers, because these people are connected. I mean, we're talking about Brandon is with Shark Tank. Nina has her own company. Dr. Ron Williams is with Coppin State. Dr. Joyce Ward is with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So these are people who connected very specifically in this innovation, invention, making, and entrepreneurial community. So they connect us with speakers. They themselves serve as speakers for our professional development, both virtual and in person. And then they also serve in a capacity as some of them serve as judges for this pitch competition. And you'll be hearing a little bit more about that later on. But we are extremely thankful to them. They do so much work for us. And they are truly committed to seeing students from HBCUs, faculty members from HBCUs, really thrive, really get the most out of this experience, and want to see this as a way to continue on your inventive, your innovative, your entrepreneurial, and your making pathways. So I will come back to Nina when we revisit the advisory board and their roles in a minute. I'm going to pass it back to Iris so that she can speak a little bit about the history of the AAAS Making and Innovation Showcase.
Thank you, Neela. So this effort was started in 2018 with our first cohort of our annual showcase, which we call it our annual HBCU Making and Innovation Showcase. In this work, I have to acknowledge Dr. Quincy Brown, who really brought this work from the White House and her efforts to the AAAS. She is now the right-hand woman to VP Kamala Harris, leading the National Space Advisory Council. So I just want to shout out Quincy for really starting this work and bringing it to the AAAS that we have been able to really take and move forward. So I definitely want to acknowledge her. But really the goal of this overall initiative, we are on our third NSF funded grant. And the goal is really to advance innovation capacity at HBCUs. Well, primarily in 4 areas: making, innovation, entrepreneurship, and invention through leveraging an inclusive innovation ecosystem, right? So our goals are really all focused towards helping not only HBCU students, but HBCU faculty as well in these areas. And initially we started out with, which is still a framework today, sending out a call to all 100 plus HBCUs to have developed a student-led team along with a faculty advisor to address one of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, and if you're not completely familiar with those goals, they basically have to do with enhancing or improving quality of life. So eradicating hunger, poverty, making sure we have safe water to drink. Since then, we have evolved the initiative and included other frameworks. While the UN Sustainable Development Goals is a primary framework, we are really here to encourage you and help you as students and faculty innovators really address the issues that you care about in your local communities, nationally and globally. Next. So just a little bit about the AAAS. So the American Association for the Advancement of Science, or AAAS, as we are known in the broader community. Some people don't know about the AAAS. A lot of people are familiar with AAAS via our Science magazine, which is one of our publications. We work on the program side. So the publications and membership part of the organization is on the for-profit side. But AAAS happens to be the oldest and largest general scientific organization in the world. We were started in the 1850s and have over 200,000 members worldwide. And we have a very simple mission, but it's huge, and that is to advance science, engineering, and innovation throughout the world for the benefit of all people. Our side of the organization, we really focus on diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. So all things that have to do with broadening participation in STEM. Neela and I lead AAAS's only HBCU focused initiative. So we're very proud to lead that work along with Dr. Kavita Mitapalli, who has been a huge partner with us in this work, because evaluation and assessment is key to move this work forward, to really document the impacts. So if you want to learn more about the AAAS, feel free to visit our website. And if you're interested in science careers, definitely visit that website also. So again, just want to shout out, Neela mentioned some of them who are part of our current cohort, but our cohort since 2018 to 2022. Of course, due to the pandemic, we had a showcase in 2021 that was an amended showcase due to the pandemic, and our last showcase was 2022. We spent this last year, 2023, really focusing on external evaluation and assessment of our impacts overall for this project. So I just want to give another shout out to all of those teams. To date, we have engaged 241 HBCU students, 83 faculty, 32 HBCUs, and 12 of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals have been addressed, and we've had over 75 PD mentoring and coaching sessions convened since 2018. So again, the lever or mechanism for our work is really this inclusive community of practice in making and innovation, entrepreneurship and invention. Neela mentioned our advisory board, who's actually one huge part of this overall community of practice, but we have a number of supporters, a number of sponsors, a number of collaborators that aren't on our board, but that we consider a part of our community of practice. Black innovators, people that work in the business sectors, IT sectors, technology sectors, other HBCU faculty that we have engaged. So we are very fortunate and grateful to have this inclusive community of practice.
Thank you so much, Iris. So I'm going to pause for a second. I'd like to do one thing or two things. Nina has joined us again, so I'd like to give her an opportunity to speak, but I do want to acknowledge and introduce one of our external evaluators, Dr. Kavita Mittapalli from MN Associates. Kavita, if you want to just come off mute and say hello to everyone, you're going to be hearing a lot more actually from Kavita later on in the presentation, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Neela and Iris. Hi, everyone. I'm Kavita Mittapalli from MN Associates, Inc. My team has been the evaluator for the grant since 2020. So soon you'll be hearing about the impact report that we are very proud to have had the opportunity to complete. So yeah, stay tuned.
Thank you so much, Kavita. And then next, I wanted to go back. I see that Nina has rejoined us. So Nina, if you would like to come off mute and just introduce yourselves and just speak very briefly about the role of an advisory board member for the showcase. Please let me know if you're able to do that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Neela. Welcome, everyone. I started serving on the advisory board, I believe, last year. One of the really great things and important things is to support, of course, diversity, equity, inclusion, but also support building a pipeline and continue to encourage people in STEM. And one of the other things that I just really, really enjoy is actually being able to really allow AAAS's HBCU showcase to get students, encourage students to become innovators and to participate in this wonderful program. And then a little bit about myself. I'm a former patent examiner, so I do a lot of mentoring, whether it's with students or small business innovators, as well as startups also. So I just like to pretty much be able to help where I can and support this event as well as serve on the board. And so thank you.
Thank you so much, Nina. Nina, you'll get to know Nina quite a bit. Nina provides us with so many resources. And when I try to do Freestyle Friday, where I share some of those resources either on our Twitter or our LinkedIn private page, Nina is 99% of the time the source of the information that I'm sharing. Please, she is such a great resource for the students and faculty members. I encourage you to reach out to her on LinkedIn. She is amazing, Nina. Thank you for the service that you provide, and once again, to all of our advisory board members. What they provide is invaluable to the program. And you'll be seeing Nina at the in-person showcase in September when you guys join us.
Thank you.
So you're very welcome. So we're just going to we're not going to take up too much time because we want to provide time for Q&A. But we do want to kind of talk about what to expect during this showcase year. So for some of our previous faculty and student team members, this may be somewhat familiar to you. We do have a little bit that we are changing that you'll learn about during this presentation. But we'll just kind of go through an immediate timeline of kind of what's coming up next and kind of talk through what the sessions are leading up to the showcase. And then I'll be turning it over to Kavita, who will talk a little bit about evaluation and the importance of the evaluation and what we've learned from the showcase in the past, so that it helps inform you as to why your participation and getting your feedback on this is so important. So the timeline for 2024. So today, I'm starting it from today, we are holding our student and faculty orientation. I've been getting Dr. Mitra and some other folks have been interested, and you'll be receiving an email following this presentation. But our next deadline and our next date that you should be on the lookout for is Friday, June 14th. That is the deadline for, sorry, I'm looking at a typo, the deadline for our video pitch submissions. I'll speak a little bit more to that coming up in the presentation, but be on the lookout for the email for that, for the details on that, and all the instructions that are needed to submit the video pitch. Beginning Monday, June 10th, we will open our travel reservations. This is, as you know, the showcase is free of cost to the student and faculty participants that are a part of our cohort. So what we do provide is a flight or train fare or reimbursement of costs if you're driving to and from Washington, D.C. We also provide you with hotel stay and some meals throughout the period. To cover some of the miscellaneous expenses, you'll also receive a stipend card. So we'll begin the travel reservations June 10th, so kind of just keep an eye out for the email to begin that. And then those will close, I apologize for the typo, those will close on July 1st. So you'll have a time frame between June 10th and July 1st to make the travel reservations. It is critical for team members who are here, who may not have their fellow team members on the call right now, to ensure that those deadlines that we put in place are very, we're working with American Express Global Travel for this. So we can't extend the deadlines, so we need to meet those deadlines for these. So please ensure that you and your team are getting your travel in between June 10th and July 1st. And again, information on that will be coming to you all very soon. On Tuesday, June 18th, we'll have our first formal e-mentoring session. And that one will be as a follow-up to the video pitch that you all will submit. We'll have experts who will come in, and as a community, we'll view the video pitches. And then our experts will be able to give you tips and feedback on the video pitches that will help inform how you will do the pitch competition when we all come together in September. On Wednesday, July 24th, we'll have our first professional development session. As you can see, we do these on a monthly basis. Tuesday, August 18th, it will be a professional development / e-mentoring session. We'll do a professional development on a specific topic and then do e-mentoring for any questions ahead of the showcase. We'll be a little under a month out at that point. So we want to be able to provide mentors to answer any questions that the teams have on their prototype, as well as to get feedback on their pitches if they've been working on it with their student teams. And then, as you know, Thursday, September 12th through Saturday, September 14th, we will have our in-person showcase in Washington, D.C. And as you'll note, we may have additional PD webinars for students and faculty throughout the year. Sometimes we have opportunities that we cannot pass up. We are very excited with the network that we are building, this community of practice that we are building. And there may be times where we have an opportunity where someone would like, or an organization, an industry, a federal agency would like to share some information with our cohort. In those times, we'll be able to notify you all of the opportunity. All of these sessions will be mandatory that are listed here. Additional sessions will be highly encouraged to attend, and all sessions will be recorded. So very briefly, I want to just touch on the video pitches that I just mentioned. So video pitches have been a standard of what we have been doing for the showcase since its inception in 2018. Each team will provide a 2-minute or less video pitch of their prototype. This is a way that you can see that you know how to pitch the idea, the design that you and your team have presented or have developed. And we have a video of this. As mentioned, as a community, we'll go through the videos together. So now not only are you pitching your idea for us to view, but then your fellow cohort members, the students from the other HBCUs, will get an idea of what you all are working on. As noted in our first our first e-mentoring session on the 18th, our judges or our experts will come in and give you some tips, some feedback on those pitches so that you can go back and work on them. And then we'll revisit that on our last e-mentoring session on August 18th in preparation for your in-person showcase. Requirements for this video pitch submission will be sent to you all this afternoon, so be on the lookout for that email. So e-mentoring, this is what I've basically been talking about. It's an opportunity for our student teams to be able to meet with experts, to meet with members of our advisory board who have expertise in invention, innovation, making, and entrepreneurship. We'll use these opportunities to talk about specific topical areas that would be helpful for the student teams ahead of our showcase, as well as allow the student teams to ask questions of the mentors. So we'll kind of lead with allowing the teams to ask questions about their prototype if they have any questions for our e-mentors, and then we'll go into a very specific topical discussion. These sessions are mandatory. However, we are mindful that schedules are sometimes not permitting to the days or times that we provided. So we do ask that at least one team member is present for these sessions. And again, these will all be recorded, and we will be checking to ensure that all team members have actually viewed the recording. This is a very important and critical part of the showcase. We have seen that all of the teams that have been successful were teams that have participated in all of the e-mentoring and all of the professional development that was offered. So give yourself a head up, give yourself a leg up for the in-person showcase. Please, please, please understand the importance of attending each of these e-mentoring sessions and each of these professional development sessions. So we will be offering professional development for students and faculty. This year, we will have separate faculty sessions for our faculty members. This will also be bi-monthly. We'll offer all of these sessions on Zoom. Again, this is a mandatory participation for all team members. However, in the event that a team member can't come, we need at least one team member per team to participate. This is a non-negotiable. This needs to occur in order for you all to continue with being a part of this cohort. So what I want to do is take one quick second and do a poll for our students first. The first question is I've just put some topics that we wanted to know if you all would be interested in. So I'm going to launch this poll, and I would love for the participation of you all to kind of let us know what sort of topics would you be interested in for professional development, not only for our virtual webinars, for in-person. So I'll launch the poll, and then just go ahead and let me know. You can go ahead, please let me know if you're able to participate, and you can go ahead and answer. Is the option available, Iris or Kavita? Okay. If people can respond to the poll and let me know which of these topics would be of interest to you. I'll give you a few minutes, and then faculty members, you'll see below that there's an option for you as well. So go ahead, I'll go to about a minute just to get everybody. Wonderful. So again, these were just quick topics that we thought of, but we want to be mindful of what may be of interest so that we are putting the right information and the right professional development in front of you all based upon the interest that you all have. So I'm going to end the poll, but it looks like funding and pitching your prototype are the top two for our students, and for faculty members. I'm not shocked. Grants and resources from federal agencies, industries, and organizations, and technology transfer. So thank you all for participating. I will be sure to note this, and we'll be sure to make sure that we are providing the professional development that we see, or excuse me, that you all see would be most beneficial to you all. And then lastly, well, not lastly, but I do want to talk a little bit about what the showcase experience will look like. So as you all travel to DC in September, you all will be coming in on Thursday, flying in or driving in, taking the train in. And we lead our showcase with an opening, plenary, and reception. With an opening, plenary, and reception on Thursday evening. This will be an opportunity to meet your fellow cohort members. We'll be bringing in an amazing speaker to kind of introduce you all, inspire you all, get you motivated for the showcase for the 1.5 days that follow this evening. We'll do a brief orientation just so you kind of get a grasp of the location where we'll be at. We'll be at the Hyatt in DC, right across the street from our AAAS headquarters. And we'll also be having some time at the AAAS headquarters, so you all be able to come and visit and see our building and where we're located. So we'll lead with that on Thursday evening. And then on Friday, we'll have a full day of plenary workshops around topical areas, again, that we think will be most beneficial to you all. We'll be bringing in experts from federal agencies, from industries in the DC area to come and speak with you. We may bring in some international folks to meet with you all virtually. We've been able to do that in the past, where we've had speakers from Ghana come and speak to the students. So we will be able to provide you all with workshops throughout the day, as well as evaluation focus groups for both students and faculty that will take place on both Friday and Saturday. Friday afternoon, Friday evening, it's yours to chill out, explore DC, time on your own, ahead of our big day, which is the student pitch competition that takes place on Saturday morning. We have in the past and will continue to do that. Last year was our first year, but we'll be live streaming our pitch competition so that your friends, your family, those from your institution can cheer you on virtually and see you pitch your prototype to our panel of judges. I was going to invite one of our advisory board members, but she's not here, Ellie Feeney, who I don't believe has been able to join us. She was going to speak to what the judges are looking for, for the pitch competition. But what I will say is that all the student teams will receive a rubric ahead of time to kind of know what the judges are looking for in the pitch competition. We ask that you take a look at that, really work and hone, meet together with your team, whether it's virtual or in person, depending on if that's possible, leading up to the showcase. Again, the students who have, or the student teams that have placed first, second, or third have been those who have been most prepared, who've taken advantage of all the PD, all of the e-mentoring, and have spent time using all of the resources that we provide to the teams. So please, 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 I encourage you to take advantage. If we send stuff out, we shoot resources out, take advantage of them, opportunities to meet with our e-mentors, take advantage of them. Reaching out to the AAAS staff to answer questions. We will do our best to answer all questions or connect you with the right person who can answer the questions if it has to do with your prototype design or pitch. But we'll be sending that rubric out ahead of the showcase so that you all can work on it. And you'll also have time Friday afternoon if you want to meet with your teams to prepare for the showcase. On the day of the showcase, we'll invite each team up one by one to deliver their showcase, to deliver the pitch for their prototype. The pitches are 5 minutes or less normally. We want to be mindful, A, of time, but B, that when you pitch, you have to get that information out as quick as possible. You know, people are not going to have the attention span to listen to a lot of jargon, to hear a lot of talk about your prototype. They want to hear what it is, why should they invest in it? And so that is what we're going to spend time talking about and learning about throughout this process ahead of the showcase. And then when that concludes, we will have a little bit more time for evaluation focus groups. And then we conclude the event Saturday afternoon with our closing plenary and award luncheon, which is wonderful. And we definitely bring in some high-level speakers for that as well. So it's a wonderful opportunity and experience to be here in DC. We are really, fortunate to be in an area where there's so many different companies, agencies, so we bring in the right people to be in front of you. And I know some of the past showcase faculty members or student team members can speak to that, but it's a great opportunity. And it's really, we build camaraderie amongst each other, but it's building that community of practice that Iris and I have spoken about so much. I want to pause right there for a second to see if there are any questions before we move forward. If you have a question, you can raise your hand or come off mute. Okay. I don't see anything. I don't see anybody, so I'm going to move forward. Okay. I'm excited to share that we have some new components to the AAAS HBCU Making Innovation Showcase for this proposal period, which runs through 2026. So one thing that we are including now are student ambassadors, and we will be inviting you all to serve as student ambassadors after this first year. Student ambassadors are going to serve in a multitasking role. One role that they'll do is that they'll kind of be the voice for the showcase on their campuses. So what we are seeking are alumni of the program who will be able to go back, kind of share messages, share on social media, help us build social media content to kind of share what's happening in HBCU innovation. Are they aware of things that are happening on their campus? Bringing information that we can share with them that they can spread to their campuses, sharing the live stream links so that student teams can see you all, even if they aren't in our cohort. They'll just be a voice, a young voice, a student voice for the showcase, our hype people, if you want to say that. And so we're really excited to have these folks join us. What's very exciting is that these student ambassadors will also serve as peer mentors. So they'll be a part of the e-mentoring. They'll kind of provide some opportunities to share what their experience was like for you all. And they will be able to serve as virtual judges since the judging is live streamed. They'll be able to serve as virtual judges for the showcase. So it's an exciting opportunity. It's a way to thank our prior student alumni for all the work that they've done. They are now experts in this, so we want to be able to elevate their role as well and give them opportunities to continue participation in the showcase. New again is year 2 for the cohort. So in previous years from 2018 to 2022, we would have 1-year cohorts. So if you served in 2018, you could reapply and serve in 2019. What we would like to do this year moving forward is have opportunities for our student cohort team to continue on in a second year. In that second year, we will be using some of our sponsors, organizations, companies that have much more influence and understanding of commercialization, of funding, prototypes, what entrepreneurship is. So we have a sponsorship with VentureWell, who would like to be able to support our second year cohort teams. They have a competition called E-Teams, where those teams receive fundings of thousands of dollars for their prototype designs. And they would work with the student teams that have participated in this year, next year, to support them in having a very strong application to the E-Teams and supported them applying and being selected to the E-Teams, and then also just working with them throughout that second year so we could really talk about what's next for your prototype. How do you commercialize this? How do you bring it to business? Where do you find the funding? Let's connect you with these folks. So that is something that we're very excited about for our year 2 cohort. This is not a mandatory obligation. I know some of our student teams have folks who may be graduating, moving on to jobs, so I understand that the commitment may be harder, but it is something that we will offer to the student teams, and we do hope that you'll take advantage of that. I've also listed Microsoft, who we are partnering and collaborating with currently, who are interested in also supporting the student teams. So again, this is a wonderful opportunity. It's a way that we can see that we're looking at longitudinally what our student teams are doing with these prototypes. Is it just a one and done? We don't want that to be the case. You've put a lot of work into this prototype. So then what's next? How can we really build this up and get this funded? So that's what we want to use year 2 for. And we're very excited that you will be our inaugural class to do that. And then lastly, we spoke about the opportunities we'll expand for our faculty members. So I wanted to bring Iris back on, who will speak very briefly about our ideas for the Faculty Institute that we would like to introduce in 2025.
Sure, thanks, Neela. So Neela just highlighted 3. We have several new components as part of this newly awarded grant. So Neela just highlighted 2 of the key ones, this second year phase that we're adding to provide that opportunity for students to continue to refine their prototypes, the new student ambassadorship program that we are launching, and the Faculty Institute. So we are really excited about this because we are very intentional and purposeful about faculty professional development as well as student professional development. So this is, again, a new initiative that we are launching as part of this newly awarded grant, where we will create an HBCU Faculty Innovation Leadership Institute to really equip and resource HBCU faculty in the areas of leading innovation efforts. So all of these new components, as well as the overall initiative, you'll see that we really are leveraging this community of practice, our sponsors, our partners and collaborators to bring resources and opportunities to not only you all, definitely targeted for the cohort, but to the broader HBCU community.
Thank you so much, Iris. I want to pause there before we get into Kavita and our evaluation and our impact report discussion. If there were any questions about the showcase, we do have Q&A at the end, where we will definitely be happy to expand on any of the topics and any of the content that we've shared. But just in mindful of time, if there was any immediate questions that anyone had. You can come off mute or raise your hand. I also just want to acknowledge, I see that Dr. Laura Collins has joined us. Laura has been an amazing, amazing member of our advisory board. She is just recently left North Carolina A&T University, but she represents North Carolina A&T, loves it. We love her. And Laura, I just wanted to give you a quick moment before we get into our external evaluation discussion to just introduce yourself and to speak a little briefly about what it's like to be an advisory board member and how you contribute to the students and the success for them in this program.
Sure. Say selfishly, the best thing to do with the AAAS HBCU Making and Innovation Showcase is being on the advisory board. Like, I'm going to say that being a team is a lot of fun. You get to take the full advantage of your inspiration and creativity and teamwork and problem solving, and you present that to judges who are really vested in your success. So when there's an opportunity to do the video review, we really try to chime in and, as Neela said, bring in experts who can give you input on how you're presenting the problem that you're solving, the solution that you're presenting. Please do take to heart that feedback. But as a member of the advisory board, I'm a huge fan of seeing that innovation. I am a patent agent by training, a cheerleader by disposition. So I'm a huge fan of the kinds of technologies that you all are going to be presenting to us, the new ideas, the new lenses that you're bringing to problem solving. It's just marvelous. So even though it is true, I am now 3 days out from being the Office of Technology Transfer at North Carolina A&T State University, I'm still here to be a cheerleader for what you're doing, and already have blocked out my schedule to participate in that showcase, because as Neela and Iris have laid out, fabulous people, like they're right in DC. And so AAAS picks up the phone and calls, and they get people like from the patent office and from NSF. And they're like, sure, I would love to speak with an audience of students who are bright and engaged and innovating. So please do take full advantage of the showcase opportunities throughout the year, both to learn from the people that you have as speakers, as well as from one another. Those video presentations are a great insight into how people are problem solving. Neela, sorry, that's probably a little bit more than you had asked me to say, but just wanted to get all that out there.
Thank you so much, Laura. I mean, you all are going to just, when I say we are lucky to have the advisory board members and to be able to share them and their expertise with you all, it is really something we are so proud of. So thank you, Laura. Thank you for speaking, and thank you for your continued contribution to the showcase. We have a brief discussion from our external evaluator, Kavita, who I will turn it over to. Kavita, let me know if you're able to move through the slides or if you need me to drive them for you. Otherwise,
Yes,
I'll
yes,
turn it over to Kavita, and then we'll wrap up with Q&A and next steps.
thank you. I don't think I can advance the slides. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you'll be advancing them for me, Neela. Is that all right? Okay, thank you. Yeah. Well, thanks, Neela and Iris again. So since 2019, we've had the privilege of being the external evaluator for the AAAS Maker Grant. And we are really delighted to be part of this wonderful initiative for the past 3 years. And we are also looking forward to continuing our work over the next 3 years for the new grant. So today we are proud to present the impact report for the grant. It was truly a labor of love. Neela would know that. For Neela and Iris's contribution, they greatly appreciated. So we encourage you to, take a look at it. Neela is going to present, put the link, and we also have the link in the last slide. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. And the reason we are doing this evaluation is so that we can tell your story. So without you, there is no maker space, maker grant, right? So when Neela said that we want your feedback, this is the reason why, because based on the feedback that we've received from the webinars, from the focus groups, from the interviews, discussions, meetings, we are able to build a story to tell what's working, what's not working. That's why when we send out the survey, please take a minute. They are not very long surveys. We really want to know how it's working and what we can do to help and improve. So before I present some of the highlights of the impact report, I would like to echo the statement that was made by one of the advisory board members a few years ago about this program, and that this program has indeed provided a safe space for students to experience personal growth, teamwork, exploration, and innovation. This initiative has facilitated the sharing of rich resources, consistent mentoring, coaching, and relationship building. The ideas and products that have emerged from this initiative truly exemplify its success and impact, both in the short and the long term. So we wish to thank the AAAS team for the opportunity to work on this project. Next slide, please. Could go to the next slide.
Is there one missing, or
No, we're just skipping this, yeah.
is this where you want to be at mission and goals?
The next one, yeah. We'll jump directly to the numbers. The next slide.
Participating institutions?
Next slide, please. Participating institutions, yes. Yeah, I didn't want to repeat the mission and goals because we've already talked about this a lot.
Is my slides off? Because mine says participating institutions. Is that not what you see?
It's after, yeah, after this. Right now, we are still seeing the mission and goals, the SDGs.
It's not advancing for us. Do you have
Do you see it now?
No.
Okay, give me one moment. I'm going to stop sharing and then reshare.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
Good. All right.
So the way we are really looking at the impact is not only the numbers of the participation, but also the efficacy of the project. So what I'm going to show here is not only the numbers in terms of how many we had participate across the years, although we did not evaluate the earlier grant, which was the beginning, 2018, we had access to a lot of data that was collected by the AAAS team. So they shared with us the numbers, and we were able to aggregate them. So as you can see, the number of schools that we had participate in the first year was 15, then 12, 8, and 8. And in terms of distribution, you will see in the table that we had a fair amount of distribution in terms of public and private HBCUs, R1s and R2s, which is actually really wonderful. Looking at 2020 numbers, you will see 5 of the institutions were R1 or R2. And then we also had a really good mixture of small, medium, and large institutions, which just goes to show that there was a very good representation across the board of the HBCUs for the Makerspace Showcase. Next, please. In terms of the student profile, again, we're very happy to note here that we had more female representation in majority of the years, especially in 2018, just by 1. Then in 2020 by 3, 2021 by a large number, and 2022 also by 1. So this is also to show that there was an equal interest among males and females from the participating institutions, and we actually got a good representation across the board. Again, these students came from all types of institutions, as I mentioned. So you'll see that the total number of participation was almost 290, which is excellent, excellent, to say the least. Next slide. Again, student profile, as expected, we had a large representation from African-American Black students. We also had a fairly wide, good representation from white Caucasian students from the HBCUs, which is very refreshing to see that they showed an interest and they participated very actively in all aspects of the project. We had about 13 Asians, and in total, we had almost 280 students from across the race and ethnic groups. Major of the study, you'll be surprised to see that we had life sciences, the maximum representation, 63 out of the 242, and then followed by technology and engineering. You would believe that maybe technology and engineering would be the highest, but we were also very pleasantly surprised that we had more life sciences students actually show an interest, present their prototypes, ask us questions, and participate much more actively. So we had life sciences, then we had technology and engineering, and you'll also see we have computer science and information management as expected. We also had social behavioral economic sciences. This is an interesting finding because during the COVID, 2020, 2021, we had some very active participation and also winners who came from these fields, especially from social behavioral economic sciences, that talked about access to healthcare. They talked about public health issues. They talked about other issues that were more kind of akin to social behavioral economic sciences compared to maybe computer science or something else. Next, please. Again, some more student profile in terms of we had a majority coming from seniors, then also actually from graduate and PhD, followed by seniors, and then juniors, sophomores, and then juniors. We never had any restrictions as to only a few, a certain group should be participating, but somehow across the years, we've seen more participation from the graduate and PhD students compared to the freshmen or the sophomore. We also had combination of teams where we had graduate and PhD students combine and work together as a team, and that definitely is encouraged because that also helps in the exchange of ideas, collaboration, and teamwork. Next, please. So the overall goal, as you know, of the project is to investigate the best practices or promising practices to enhance the making and innovation-related capacity for HBCU students and faculty. The whole idea here is to look at the community of practice aspect, to look at the inclusion aspect of the grant. And as Neela mentioned, that these showcases have been the North Star of showing us where the innovation is headed over the next few years. We've had some excellent participation, interest, and enthusiasm, but from both the students and faculty members across the years. So over the next slides, I'll show you some of the results that we have received from the surveys, from the webinars participation across the years, and also from the focus groups that we had with faculty as well as the students. So most students who took the surveys have found the sessions, the webinar sessions to be, oh, it vanished. The slide vanished. Yep, I came back. Very or highly useful. So you will see in 2021, We asked them very pointed questions about the design thinking framework for innovation, building success for HBCU students, pathways. And you will see that they're mostly in the 70 plus. 70 and 70 plus, and which is very, very good news, given that, we were worried about the participation. We were also worried of the response rate, but we have received very decent response rate for the surveys. Next, please. Some of the faculty members that we have interacted with, they have also enjoyed the sessions. These sessions included not only the e-mentoring sessions, but also the sessions that were held at the showcases in 2020 and 2021. As you can see, the numbers are in the high 80s and 100% for HBCU innovation and resource kit, which is actually available on the website. So do take a minute to check it out. Grants and resources that were shared during the showcase were really appreciated by everybody. Technology transfer and the aspects of technology transfer are also appreciated by everybody. Venture Well session, there was a very good session, and I believe there'll be another session this year too. 86 to 90%, and then collaborating the sponsored programs, 81%, as to how do you take your research further. Next slide, please. These are some of the quotations. Please take a minute to read these quotations. The students were generally very inspired and interested in passing the knowledge that they learned during the sessions to other students. So this is the reason why I'd like to emphasize that we want to hear what is working for you, how you have really enjoyed these sessions, and how is it really furthering your own academic and job and career journeys. That's why we encourage you to take the survey, tell us how we can improve, how we can help you, and how we can really move the torch forward. Next slide. In 2022, just 2 years ago, 91% of the participants mentioned that they would attend a similar showcase in the future. So right now we are doing a crowd control as to how many people we can allow, but it has been one of the very popular, very, very sought after events of the year that's done by AAAS. And it's a very, very nice gathering. The sessions, if you have attended this before, you are very well spaced out, nobody's rushed. You also get an opportunity to actually check out DC in the afternoon and evening, so you don't feel that, oh wow, I missed the opportunity. So obviously we're encouraging you to put your best foot forward, and so that we can see you in September. Next slide, please. And again, members of the advisory group, again, thank you to Nina, thank you to Laura, and any other advisory team members who were able to join us today. You are extremely valuable. The e-mentoring and the sessions and the advice that you have provided to the faculty members who are working with the students and the students themselves are deeply appreciated. In the focus group that we did last, I think 2 years ago, there were a few students who said that the mentoring that they received from the advisory was really helped them to actually tweak their prototype. That's the reason why when Neela said that it is really important that you attend the e-mentoring, this is the reason why, because then you can actually get live comments on your prototype. Nobody's going to give you that kind of insider information as to what works in industry, what works in commercialization. So we encourage you to participate and be there as much as possible for yourself and also for your team members. Next slide. Again, you will see a very high percentage. In 2021, we had 74% of showcase participants. They found the webinars met or they exceeded the expectations. And in 2022, it was all of them. So you'll see that how they are really, really appreciated. Next slide. So that's it. It's a lot of information. We'd be very happy if you are able to access the link to the impact report, provide your comments to us, how we can improve and what aspects of the report did you like, because we're always looking for input. So thank you again.
Thank you so much, Kavita. Kavita is such a valuable member of the team. We call her an external evaluator, but she is not external at all. She is present. You will see her at the showcase. She will be reaching out, and she spends a lot of time really not only getting to know the students, but the projects that they work on. She's invested in seeing the success of our student teams as well. So we just thank you, Kavita, for being a part of this community of practice. And while you do serve a work role for it, we appreciate that you offer a lot of valuable insight for us. And what you've just shared with our student teams and our new members of our cohort was wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you.
So we have reached the orientation was meant to kind of just give you a brief rundown of what to expect. There's so much that we could share, but we wanted to just prep you all ahead of time so that you kind of we can answer some questions ahead of time, be proactive in some of the things you may be thinking of for the showcase. But we want to give you all now the opportunity, and we're right on time, it's 4 p.m. If there's any questions from any of our student team members or our faculty members, this is the time now to answer them. So feel free, as I've stated, to come off mute or raise your hand, and we'll be sure to answer your question or do our best to answer the question that you may have. So are there any questions?
So this isn't really a question, it's more of a comment. I just wanted to let you know that I was on the Zoom. I'm currently traveling, but my advisor, he sent me the link and it wasn't showing up earlier, but I just changed my name. I just wanted to let you know I was on the Zoom.
Oh, thank you so much, Marquise. No worries, I appreciate it. And I saw members of your IPAVE team on here as well. So we welcome you. We're excited to learn more about you and your colleagues. You're at A&T, correct? North Carolina
Yes,
A&T?
ma'am.
Right, yep. So one thing you'll learn is I am actually very strong with names and attaching names to the institution. So nice to meet you virtually, and we look forward to meeting you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. And feel free to put it in the chat as well if you don't want to come off mute. I understand that. And so I know that some people are interested in the recorded Zoom. We will be sharing that after. That won't be available immediately after because we have to upload it and do those things, but we'll be able to share that out by the end of the week, the Zoom recording of this session. Any other questions?
Yes, this is Andrea Spool-White with IPAVE. Thank you very much. I had a couple of questions, and they're relating to the video pitch.
Yes.
I know the guidelines are coming out later today, but just want to make sure that the size restrictions for the video is within the guidelines and there was no restrictions as it relates to the video format.
Yeah, so we prefer YouTube or Vimeo, but we've also accepted Google, Google Slides, Google Links, Google Videos as well. We really don't have restrictions for it. It's just that we've always been the more easily accessible videos have been the YouTube videos. So if you are able to upload it to a YouTube link to share, that would be most preferred, but that will be shared with you all. There are no size restrictions. We do, though, ask that the videos are kept to 2 minutes or less. That's the key.
All right, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Any other questions about the video pitches, Andrea? Okay.
Nope, that was it. Thank you.
Right. Any other questions? While we await, if there's any other questions, I did want to point out, there was something that Kavita shared, and she mentioned the range of students being from freshmen to those who are seeking PhDs. And I love that we have such a wide range. I would like to say that one may think that there may be advantage to teams that are all students seeking PhDs or those who may be at a higher education level at the time of the showcase. But that has not been the case whatsoever. Our awardees have ranged from all underclassmen taking first place to those who have been a mix of underclassmen and graduate students, post-grad students together. We've had a team of all PhD seeking students been awarded. So to let you know, it really comes down to how the student teams work together, the design prototype that they've committed to, how they pitch it. Are they, pitching to the significance of the solution they provided to the UN Sustainable Development Goal? That's really what stands out. We did not find any advantage to teams that were just comprised of all students with advanced degrees already. So I just wanted to point that out if there was any if that raised any eyebrows that, oh, we have, a smaller amount of freshmen compared to our master's and PhD seeking students, but that really had no impact on the awardees. And I don't know, Kavita, if that's pretty accurate from our recollection.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think in my experience, those students who actually had a mix, right, like junior, seniors, they actually did much better than only having a purely advanced PhD graduate students. So absolutely, there is no correlation or causation.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Yeah. So we would encourage all of you, really, indeed, to come participate and show your prototype and work. Yep.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? I'm shocked that there's not more questions. We have so many new faces this year. So that either says, A, I've done a great job with explaining or sharing information, or B, that questions will come after the fact. And that is absolutely fine as well. Iris, I saw that you raised your hand.
Yes, so while the group is thinking of questions, I definitely just wanted to highlight a couple of things. First, as Kavita mentioned, it is very, very, very important that we get maximum participation with surveys, with focus groups, with interviews, because we have to show impact. We can't go to NSF and ask for millions of dollars if you all don't help us help you. So we need you to help us help you by helping us show impact. And that means completing surveys, participating in focus groups, in interviews. That is very, very important because it helps us continue this work. This work has to be funded. AAAS does not have this money. We have to go to NSF and other funding organizations, write proposals, which we are in the middle of now, trying to get submitted for another project. But that is what is required. So, and it's getting harder and harder every year to continue this work. Even though it's great, it's not a given that this work continues. So we need you to help us help you continue this work. So when you get the request to complete post-webinar surveys, to complete surveys as part of evaluation, whether that's focus groups or interviews, we really need 100% participation. The second thing I want to reiterate again, Neela and Kavita mentioned this, is the e-mentoring. The e-mentoring sessions, that is designed specifically for you all as cohorts. So during the year, we'll also be doing PD webinars for the broader HBCU community, but the e-mentoring sessions are specifically to help you as you are preparing to come to DC and pitch your innovations. The people that we ask from our board, our community of practice, our sponsors, our partners, they are extremely busy. So they're taking time out of their very busy schedules to come help mentor you. And it doesn't look good when there's like one or two folks on the webinar. So as Neela said, we understand not everybody can make them, but if everybody on your team is available, we need everybody on your team present. If only one or two are available, then that's fine. But we're seeking 100% participation as much as possible, unless there's, you have class or a medical emergency or something like that. And then one more thing I want to mention, but I'll let Kiana ask her question and then I'll follow up.
Okay, thank you. I had a question. I don't know if it was already mentioned, but when is the video pitch due?
The video pitch, thank you. Kiana, where are you from? I'm sorry, your name doesn't remember.
I'm from A&T.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome. So the video pitch will be due Thursday, June 14th. Now that is a deadline that may be extended a week or so, but the deadline as of now is June 14th. We would not take any submissions beyond June 21st, though.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? I'll pause and see if there's any other questions, and then I'll finish up.
Oh, I love this question, Quincy. Quincy's from Morehouse. I remember that. Quincy asks, what have been some of the most favorite things that the past cohorts have shared about the program? Kavita, since you've had an opportunity to really chat with and do focus groups, maybe you can speak to that. And then I've seen a couple of people on here who have been previous cohort members. I'm not going to put them on the spot. Miss Jewel, I see her on here.
That's what I was going to ask. So.
I'm not going to put them on the spot, even though I just did with Jewel. But I would love to hear from Kavita to share. And then if any of our past cohort members or faculty members are open to sharing, we would open the floor to that. Thank you so much for that question, Quincy.
Yes, excellent question, Quincy. You will see a lot of those, lot of the responses to your question in the report. So please do read the impact report. But suffice to say, I think the most wonderful things that the students have shared is they work with their faculty members. Faculty have gone above and beyond to help their students, to mentor their students, and at the same time they've also been, kind of tough love, right? Like, I'm going to give you certain ideas, but you are the one who is going to execute them. And this particular sentiment actually was across the years, we have heard this so many times from also faculty members and also from students who have been part of the showcase. The other aspect that has come through is teamwork and collaboration and trying to, be inclusive in this environment. People have gone through a lot. They're still going through a lot. We had the showcase during COVID, and you can understand that the teams came together virtually to design their prototype. You can understand the challenges that they came through. And it actually was really wonderful to see how the teams worked virtually in a hybrid format, wearing masks and still completing the work and understanding each other's situations and accommodating each other. That was just absolutely awesome. And it was just really wonderful to see how the collaboration and teamwork works.
Thank you so much, Kavita. I want to chime in, and then I'm going to again take off if there's any past cohort members or faculty. But Quincy, I want to share that. I first came on this project in 2019 as we were wrapping up the first proposal, the first grant. And one of the things that I shared with Iris is that for me, around that time, I was saying, I don't want HBCUs to be a trend. I came in right around, it was a political season, and you heard a lot of our political leaders talking about HBCU, this HBCU, that. I said, I did not want this to be a trend. I want this to be a sustaining program where we see how amazing our student and faculty members are in HBCUs, and we highlight this and we showcase this. And lo and behold, 2 proposals later, we have been awarded 2 additional proposals since that time. This has been a mainstay and something that AAAS is very proud of our organization. Our CEO, Siddharth Parikh, who's from North Carolina, Indian American, who prides himself on sharing the HBCU work in our initiative and what we do. And you'll hear about it constantly throughout the year as he shares in his impact reports and what he shares with the AAAS board and its members. I think lastly, I did come in right again. Our last showcase before the pandemic was in February, and then the pandemic hit in March. And one of the things that I was most blown away with was actually speaking and chatting with the students and faculty members and how dedicated and motivated they were about the teamwork and collaborating with one another and having their faculty advisors advise them and help them through this. And so being able to meet each and every one of you, and we all meet in person in September, and to really get an opportunity to engage and to see our team members engage with other students at other institutions, which then build either friendships, opportunities for collaboration. We have faculty members, Dr. Pearson, who's from Alabama A&M, has collaborated quite frequently with Dr. Velma Latson from Bowie State University. They have built their collaboration. We have a faculty member who's not on here, I don't believe, but Dr. Susan Anwar, who's been phenomenal with her team from Philander Smith University, who received tenure from her participation and the time that she spent in the work that she spent with the AAAS Making an Innovation Showcase. So we see so much of the impact and we get to see it firsthand. And that to me, you know, the students and what you all design, it's incredible, but actually getting to meet you all and to really talk with you all and hear about your ambitions and your goals, and to see what future ideas you all have is the most rewarding part for me. Are there any faculty members or past cohort members who wanted to give a brief example?
Yeah, I also wanted to hear from any new teams, like students or faculty, because we have, veteran, we have teams that have repeated before, but so I wanted to hear from like if we have any new teams or faculty on board. I definitely love to hear, as Neela said, from our returning faculty and students who have participated before on your perspective. And then what are you all most excited about, like for this competition, and what are you most excited about learning? So those are just the things that I wanted to hear.
You can take yourself off mute or raise your hand or put it in the chat. We can read it out loud. Let's see. Quincy says, I'm just excited to be here. And we're excited to have you, Quincy. Thank you. Yes. I think that to me, again, what I spoke to, absolutely excited to learn from other students and professionals. That is really at the heart of this opportunity, are meeting the other students, learning from the other students, connecting with these amazing professionals who, you don't know where the opportunities of who you may network with, who you may talk with, where that opportunity could lead to. So thank you for your thoughts on that, Quincy. Anyone else? Yes, we have a raised hand. You can feel free to come off mute.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Yuhan Jiang from North Carolina A&T State University. So I have been joining the A&T for almost 2 years, and for the past 2 years, I work with my undergraduate students, and we went to the competition, which is for the Innovation Challenge hosted by our college. So we won the first place in the first year, and we won the third place in the second year. We faced some challenge during the second year because we're going to compete with the PhD student or the graduate student as a mixed group. As someone mentioned before, the mixed group maybe have some advantages. So, but again, that will be the challenge for the entire undergraduate students. So I feel another challenge maybe is come from how to make the students themselves motivation. So that is a big challenge for me. For some reason, I can help with my students, but I also would like to see the growing or the learning process from my students. So I would like to hear someone can provide some suggestions during the following the meetings or the professional development meeting, something, or even how we can meet together. So anyone, if interesting to share the information, can shoot email to us or to the group. We can further discuss it as well. So again, this is a wonderful, excellent chance here. We don't know it before, but for this year, we're getting the email from Laura, and also I see Miss White posted the address in the LinkedIn. I think that's a good opportunity. We should go for, and in myself, I would like to see my student is prepared for win some place, right? That I don't know whether can be first or third. So I don't know. So if I'm lucky, so if my group is lucky, I would like to see we will win the first place. Why not, right? So I mean, everyone want to do this, right? So but we know that will be the challenge this year. We have 20 group. That's a great number. So it's more than the last year. I see it's only 8 for the past 2 years. So very good. So I would like to learn from you guys, and yeah, and also we want to discuss, we want to collaborate. So I don't want to say too much about my risk, but if you're interested in anything for the artificial intelligence in the built environment area or the construction or the civil engineering, so definitely we can work together for the proposals. I know there are some faculties over here. So yes, that's pretty much I want to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love what you shared. I loved hearing about how you your teams just first got started in the Innovation Challenge and then found this one. I think that's been part of the process. People have learned about it, or maybe word of mouth. Dr. Collins being someone who shared with you, which is wonderful. And I think that you will definitely have the opportunity to connect and network with some of our other faculty members and perhaps students who are interested in maybe learning more about what you're doing, what you're teaching. And so thank you. I appreciate it. I wrote down your question, and I do we will definitely address that in the future. And I welcome, even if we don't get all of the questions answered today, Iris and I welcome questions. Send them to our email. We are always in communication and happy to chat with you all and communicate with you all. So thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. And another thing I want to say is, so we are faculty, we have some research, and also I'm in the process to find the pattern. So in the future, the challenge is how to do the transfer, how to make it commercialized. So I learned from the survey, most of our faculty is interested in how to transfer our products, right, to make the revenue in the future. So in that sense, we can learn from this program as well. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. We're very excited to be able to provide that to you all. So thank you for responding to that poll and letting us know. Again, we want to be able to cater our professional development to what you all are seeking, what you all would like. So I do thank you, and definitely tech transfer will be a huge part of what our faculty will be receiving in terms of professional development. Thank you, Dr. Pearson, for sharing your excitement about the cohort and networking collaboration. Thank you, Chancellor, for excited about this new learning experience. It's a new learning experience for us every year. We get a new group of students with new ideas. It's just always very exciting to learn about what you all are doing. So thank you so much. Any other questions? We're at 4:22. And again, I want to be mindful of the time that we have. We only have about 8 minutes left. But we do want to give anybody and everybody an opportunity to talk or to ask questions if they had them. Anyone else? If we don't, what I would like to do is just move on to our last slide, which is our next steps. So you will be receiving, I'm going to put it in the link short into the chat in one moment, a post survey for this orientation, which also serves as a pre-survey for the full showcase experience. So you'll be receiving that shortly. You'll also be receiving that by email with the instructions for the video pitch. I've sent them. They're scheduled to go out to each individual team. So be on the lookout for that. It's so important. We do our best to try to communicate when, as I mentioned, Nina, she sends me so much information and resources. We try to share that on our Twitter, as you can see, our X, I'm still saying Twitter, excuse me, our X at AAAS Maker page, and then our private Making an Innovation group page. If you have not joined it yet, I've sent it in emails to you all. A lot of people have joined. So thank you to those who have joined. But if not, I encourage you to join it. There are certain things that we share on LinkedIn that we don't share on Twitter because it's private to this very specific community. So I highly encourage you to join our LinkedIn group, which you see here. Our impact report, which was shared in the chat, is also linked here, and we encourage you to take a look at that and read that so you can see what you all will be a part of as we look to the impact of this initiative for the next 3 years. And then lastly, as I mentioned, our next e-mentoring session will take place on June 18th. We'll be sending out invites for registration for that very soon, and then also information very soon on the opening of our travel reservations. You'll be receiving a detailed email for that. As I close this out, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm giving Iris, Kavita, last moment to have anything else that you want to say. I'm putting the link to the survey in the chat now. So if people want to go ahead and get started with that, they can. I'll also be sharing that, like I said, in an email to you all. All the slides and the recording will be available before Friday, so we'll be sharing that out as well. Iris?
Yeah, I just want to say this is your first opportunity to help us help you by completing this survey. Even if you had team members that couldn't attend, please have them review the recording and the slides once they get a chance, and then complete the survey. So you are seeing the theme here. Help us help you. This is the first step in that. And then again, I just wanted to congratulate all of you. I wanted to pause again to see if there's anybody you know, who has new or past participant who would like to say anything, especially if you are a past participant. I know the A&T team won first place last year, and I will just say, if you need some incentive, the proto gel that they developed is literally, the pro gel is at the stage of like FDA commercialization. Like it is to like that level. So that should be some incentive and encouragement to really like rise to that level. But we are equally as interested in first time participants, and we really focus on getting newer folks like you all to participate. So I just wanted to mention that. Please, please, please join our LinkedIn group and follow us on social media. We share a lot of resources, a lot of opportunities, sometimes that come up at the last minute that we're trying to share with you so you can take advantage of those. Nina sends us a lot of things. Laura sends us a lot of things. We just heard from VentureWell, who they are reaching out to share something with students and faculty as well. So that is where we share a lot of resources and opportunities, especially last minute opportunities that you know, our community of practice shares with us at the last minute. So please, please, please follow us there so you won't miss out on those opportunities. So that's all I have to say. We are looking forward. It's been awesome to work with Neela and Kavita and our whole team, the rest of our team that you don't see, that you haven't seen today. It takes like a lot of hard work, a lot of committed folks to put together all of this for you. So we are really excited. I do want to mention, be thinking about, and then Neela and the rest of the team will share in the other e-mentoring sessions that again are designed specifically for you as the 2024-2025 cohort. Really be thinking about the expertise and strengths on your team in different roles, right? As you are putting together your video and envisioning what you are coming to pitch to us. So you will have opportunities to practice throughout the year. You'll have a little bit of time once you get here, but you have that one shot for your pitch. So really be thinking about the strengths and expertise areas of your team members that you have carefully selected. I know. So we wish you all the best. We are looking forward to working with you, and I'll let Kavita have last words if you have any.
All good. Thank you.
She was going to say complete the survey. That was it.
Exactly.
Thank you all so much. We will give you back 1 minute of your time. We are looking forward to meeting you. We're looking forward to working with you throughout. Be on the lookout for the emails this afternoon. But we are very excited to have you all as a part of our 2024-2025 cohort. Thank you all and have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.